Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Trams87. Where is the line between light and dark? Or is there a fusion of entities, a mixture of colours, light and dark, black and white? Have you heard the mysteries? Do you know of the mysterious shifting sands of dark matter with a living consciousness residing at the outer edges of the Sol system? During your journey in destiny, you may have heard the name the Nine, but you've probably found yourself asking, who are they? Well, the Nine, often represented as the Roman numeral IX, also known as Enid, are a group of enigmatic entities affiliated with the planets of the Sol system. They control several locations within the unknown space, a mysterious region within the Ascendant Realm whose nature is poorly understood. The Nine are intelligent beings composed of dark matter which develop cognition from being pulled into loops by the gravity of Sol and its planets. Their existence is predicated on the existence of those planets, particularly the life that developed on them and every system in the galaxy, and likely larger with every life form. Hence, their primary concern is sustaining that existence, whether by protecting that life or by finding a way to end their reliance on it. Despite their omnipresence over the influence of the dark matter in the universe, the scope of their power over the world of normal matter is limited, and so they primarily act through a handful of agents, emissaries, and associates. They appear to be capable of freely manipulating the dark matter that composes themselves. They are able to manipulate and even synthesize regular matter under certain circumstances, such as through the portals of Cocytus. At present, the Nine are divided into two factions. One faction, consisting of 5 members, seeks to study the light and use it for their own purpose, and is responsible for sending Zer, agent of the Nine, and the emissary to interact with the Guardians. The other 4 seek to free themselves from their dependence on matter-based life and the light, and to that end have experimented with creating their own realms through space-time engineering and the creation of dark matter-based black holes, akin to their singularity that contained the distributory, even taken dark matter from other parts of the universe. So from hearing about the Nine, it may seem as though they are more mysterious and confusing than ever, but maybe not. The most important thing for you to remember is the Nine have existed everywhere. They aren't just on the edge of the galaxy, they are within all living things in the Sol system. So to get things started, have a listen to this lore entry from the book The Nine, titled Unknown Space. The light seemed to dance in blue over the horizon of unknown space, but all else was black. Tendrils seemed to grow with the light, where they were reaching from or stretching toward. He could not comprehend. Fear gripped Varric's mind. The path before him were vast, uncertain, and for the first time in his life, he could not sense judgment turned inward. Your will must remain your own, he told himself. You are the last elixir of House Judgment. The destiny of your people is in your hands. You will save them. You will stand for fallen. You walk among them, but you have failed. The voice, soft and yet so strong, echoed around him in the space, through him, like he was a string on an instrument. I walk among the children of Earth and the blessed of the great machine, the one they call Traveler, because they have been chosen For you, the great machine is a dark mirror. Variks felt cold, unlike he had ever known. Unbidden, memories rushed past him. All he could do was hang on as the last days of the Elixni played out in his mind. He and fellow scribes passing judgment in their soft-furred robes. Then the whirlwind. Then the elders torn apart. The pillaging of the house. Variks kneeling before a window, staring up at the great machine, watching it vanish. The long journey in the darkness. His flight to run with the wolves. His pleas to Skolas. The pact with Ghaul to sever Kalkik's prime and secret it away. The prime vanishing, and again Ghaul on the horizon, preparing to give the fallen what they so rightfully deserve. There is only one path left for you here, in a place where everything dies and begins new. With that, a new power burned, affording him a strength to rise again. Judgment cast. The screaming pulse of the prison alarms stirred Variks awake. On the comms, he heard Petra's voice. Cayde had returned. This lore entry is insane. Why? Because here we get an in-depth look at exactly what was happening to Variks in the Prison of Elders before everything took a turn for the worst. In fact, if I understand this entry correctly, this would suggest that the Nine actually started the prison break in the Prison of Elders. But why? Why would they do something so horrible and make us lose Cayde 6? To understand that, I'd like to read another lore entry from the book The Nine, titled The Witch. Came now the traveller, and with it a strange hope, for the traveller's light had the power to cause without causation. If the Nine had the light, they could seed their own minds, free themselves from the dependence on matter life. They could gain force beyond gravity to structure themselves, and so become more than wraiths of the dark dust. They could enter the mad alien superworld of our chemical reality. So they turned to this new hope, and were divided. Come to me, a voice calls to Lavinia, although there is nowhere to go, nothing to be, not even emptiness, but the absence of anything, to be empty or full. Lavinia perceives, without emotion, that she now exists as a structure of dark dust, a sandstorm blowing against itself. Come, the voice calls. I am Nasia. You are not safe. Come with me. Not safe? No, of course she isn't safe, because there are factions among the Nine. One faction sent Zer and Orin to study Guardians and the Light, to seek the secret of effect without cause, and to protect the source of that secret, the last source, now that the Ahamkara are gone. Those five played at alchemy with the Cocytus gates, turning dust into energy and then into matter, but they could not unlock the secrets of our mad existence. They needed ambassadors, go-betweens. The other faction walks a different path, a path of folds and needless slipped through space-time itself, existential syringes yielding new spaces to be remade as the Nine desire. They have tried to gather enough dark dust in one place to form a black hole and found it difficult. When the dark mass collapses in gravity's fist, the dust passes through itself and scatters. But difficult is not impossible, and there is far, far more dark matter in the universe than bright. They will find a way to make new worlds of it. They will end their dependence on life and on the light of the Guardians, which the falling veil will soon snuff out forever. In passing, Lavinia sees the entire history of the Queen's interactions with the Nine, more than anyone suspected, and more vital. She sees how one of the Nine blinded Guardians to Ghaul's approach, risking everything, for Ghaul would have destroyed the sun and the Nine with it, to learn how to steal the light. She sees how that one was punished. Come, Nasia calls urgently. Come with me, quickly, before something dark and hypodermic pierces the void beneath Lavinia and slurps her down, pulls her through a probiosis so tiny that it breaks her apart into streams of single particles, one after another. She is annihilated and reborn somewhere, somewhen. made of flesh again, shaking and dripping fierce sweat, mewling like a little baby. Her cheek presses against a warm wooden floor. There's a fireplace and a fire in it, and strong wind outside that sucks at the flames. The clever-looking old lady at the desk looks up. "Ah," she says, "Lavinia, you made it." "Whoa." Lavinia gasps. "What?" She smiles, as if Lavinia's confusion is the sweetest greeting she's ever heard. "Don't be afraid. You've come to exactly the right place." "Where?" "Some place where you're appreciated, where we can really use everything you've learned." The old lady pours a thin stream of tea into a cup of bone. "Didn't I tell you that you were lucky back when you were born?" So after hearing that, you're probably wondering what in the world is going on. For starters, Lavinia is an important character within the lore of Destiny. She works usually for Eververse when she isn't snooping around trying to understand certain things about the universe. But at this moment, the Nine has reached out to her, and we can see that clearly. But based on previous lore, we know that there is a divide, even amongst the Nine. There is a side for the light and a side for freedom. Not quite the dark, but selfish. At least that's what we're led to believe. However, these entities of the Nine wish to use dark energies to free themselves from the dependence of all living things. Does that mean they'll want to use dark powers? I don't believe it's that simple. The darkness itself isn't actually about being bad per se, although we don't fully know, but this constant conflict of black and white isn't just black and white, but they're very close to discovering how to use dark dust to create other worlds, where they can exist and not depend on anyone. And of course, who, what, and where are the Jovians? We know that when humanity spread beyond the Sol system, many other planets were seeded, where in certain areas of the lore, it is suggested that they live on these planets, from Jupiter and beyond, and also the Saturnian system. What we do know is that the Nine caused the Cabal to invade our system, and also blind us from seeing them coming, all so that the Nine could understand or see if there was a way to take our light and use it. And Ghaul proved that was simple. And here we are, at the precipice of a new age. Not a golden age, but perhaps an umbral age, or maybe even a grey age. Who knows, but I'm incredibly excited to find out what happens next. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to like the video and also subscribe. And if you'd like to see more like this, then hit the bell notification so you know when I upload. But until next time, stay safe and Godspeed.